Hey, gentlemen. Hey, congratulations for The Evil
Thank
Next
you.
Door.
Thank you.
And greetings from the United States in terms of everything. But you know what? I always find Swedish horror films like creepy somehow. It just crawls under your skin. It's like sort of that slow drawl. But for you two, where the original idea came from for The Evil Next Door? How did this nightmare come to your dreams?
I mean, the inspiration for this, first of all, we decided that we wanted to do a horror film because we had done a lot of television and some kids shows, and we were like, we want to do something completely different. So we started looking for that kind of stories, and we got in contact with a family that lived up north in Sweden, and they had a really scary experience. And I think we were inspired by them being so normal people and experiencing something so very scary and strange. And that combined with me having a strange experience with neighbors moving out from the duplex I lived in. The other side was empty, and I started hearing sounds coming from that side. And probably it was just the new neighbors coming in late at night, taking measures. But it was really scary hearing someone walking in the stairs at night. So all that combined is the inspiration for The Evil Next Door.
Now, but both of you are not stranger to horror before, because you've done series before that was pretty scary. How did you want to approach this differently, being your first feature film?
I think that the horror we did in that series was much more slasher-like and mixed in with a lot of comedy, actually. And so I think we really did the homework on the horror stuff, because I think the only experience we came out with from that was that horror is insanely hard to do. So we just took that so seriously and did the homework for months and studied up, like, how do you build one situation with the tension and the release and all those things. And we rewrote the script like 10 times with that in mind. And I think that's just how we did it. We looked at all the films that we thought was scary and took like lessons from everything, in not copying anything, but just how do you build stuff? How can you ruin your build up, like cutting to another event and back, and like, so we did in our heads like a framework for how to do the horror. I think we really did the homework. That's my answer, at least.
Well, tell about this duplex that you actually found. What did you find a duplex to do your production and empty out one side, or basically you created a whole set?
It's a built set on a sound stage, and that was really important for us. Even though it's a low budget movie, we only had like $1 million making this movie. We were so keen on getting that built, because creating good horror is about, you can't compromise on everything, and we had to get the shots we wanted. So we were very early on, we were trying stuff out in previous and testing stuff, and then we built the house or the set accordingly. So that is all constructed for what we needed, except for the exterior shots, of course. That was and we looked at 300 different duplexes around Sweden before we decided on the right one for the movie.
How important is the shadows and lighting for your production? Because that creates the atmosphere. Am I correct?
No.
Yeah, it's really important. But that was also one of the reasons that we had to be in a built set, like to have the controlled lighting at all times, and to control the set design of everything. Like the things that look white are actually like middle gray, so you can get, so the light doesn't bounce around and make things lighter than they're supposed to be in the camera and on the screen. And so we controlled all of that, and because we had so little money, we had to plan, like, with lack of money, we had to put in the work before and visualize everything, and we didn't.
But it's
build,
also, I
like,
mean, it's also shot on such low exposure that everyone was nervous. I mean, both me and Oskar, we were like, no, this is going to come out looking great. But even we were nervous in some scenes, like, it's too dark.
We didn't tell anyone, of course, but
No.
so we had to, at some parts actually had to be
No
bright.
guts, no glory.
No, yeah. We had to be confident in that. And you know, if a cinematographer wants to have some more light in the face and all, but we try to keep it looking good, but not like lit. We wanted that, and so we just did that, even though no one really wanted it. So that's how that happened. Because we're two, we can stand up for it.
Your secret's safe with me. One of the
It
things
doesn't have to be, because they will trust us next time. It's fine.
one of the things that people loves is always the creature features, and they will always debate on how you actually pull it off. So for the creature that you presented in your film, you know, the boogeyman creature, I'm just calling the boogeyman.
Yeah,
but anyways, is that completely CGI, or did you get a contortionist for your boogeyman?
It's a contortionist, actually. His name is
Twisted Troy.
From American Idol. He was on American Idol and twisted himself, and we saw him on that, and it was so scary. And then he did some Instagram things. I think he was on the news, like, you know, he did stuff after American Idol, being on morning shows and stuff, and folded himself and did all these scary walks, and everyone thought it was so scary. So we just tried to get him to Sweden to do that. Some of these things had to be CGI because of the pandemic, and we
wanted Troy James. We wanted him to come back to Sweden to shoot, like, to do some reshoots, and because of the COVID, we couldn't. So we had to add some CGI elements, and but most of it is him.
I'd say the scariest things is him doing it practically, because you couldn't animate what he did. Or we couldn't, at least, I think.
And what about his sounds? Your sound editor created the sounds of the creature itself, because it makes my skin crawl.
It's a mix of so many practical things, and like.
Tell him who does the monster sounds, Oskar.
Yeah, the monster sound is my girlfriend doing, like, the burping thing. Because I tried it and I couldn't do it slowly, but she's a singer and she could do that, so she had. I think
but like the story is, she did that, and we were like, yeah, we need to do something like that. But of course, we have to do the professional version of it. We can't just use Oskar's girlfriend. And in the end, we couldn't get close to how she sounded, and we were like, well, it is her. She is the one.
Let's bring her in professionally with a better mic and everything, and she did that. And I don't think we even pitched it. I think she just did that thing.
Yeah.
Well, then go ahead and tell your girlfriend it was a frightening sound. It was
it really is. It really is. But I think she did like 10 minutes of it without a hitch, and then we used. I directed her, like, lower, faster, slower, up, down, and so we just used stuff from that, and it turned out really good. But we improvised, planned improvisation, I think, something like that.
I think it all worked out well. Could you address the cast, because it's basically two main cast members. You have the stepmother, played by, I'm trying to pronounce it. Is it Dylan or Dylan? Dylan. The actress, and then you have the boy who is that Eddie?
Eddie, yeah.
Could you talk about those two, why they were perfect for your film?
I can do the we didn't write the part for Dylan, but when we had the casting process, her name came up. We looked at things that she'd done. We didn't know her, and then we did like a video thing because she was in LA at the time, and then she came back for another project, and we had a casting. And at that moment, we knew that she's the one that we want in the film. And so after that, she was on board, and she did it better than we could even imagine, because it's a hard thing, it's nothing to react to. It's just nothing is scary on, at least I don't think it's scary on set. So she did a tremendous work also with the process to get that right. And then Eddie, Tord has a better.
I mean, Eddie, working with Eddie, first of all, he's 5 years old, or he was 5 years old when we did the movie. So he's not an actor. He's a 5-year-old. And we have worked with kids before, both me and Oskar, directing kids. So we're not strange to that. But I mean, we haven't worked with so young kids. And but I mean, we found Eddie, and he had like the absolute perfect look and the right kind of energy for the part. And then we soon found out that we could, we found a way working with him, with Oskar be watching the monitor and me being very close to the camera, always focusing on his attention. It drove the editor crazy, because on all takes, he can hear my voice talking to Eddie all the time during the takes. Eddie, look at me, look at me, look at me. Now, look at my hand, look at my hand, look at my hand, look at my hand, look over there, look over there. All the time, talking.
Filling every second of space.
Yeah.
Your voice,
so that became like the, after a couple of weeks into production, that became the on-set joke. Like people telling me, Tord, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Because I drove everyone crazy because they heard my voice talking to this 5-year-old. But I mean, again, you cannot, if I didn't talk to him, he lost attention and he looked another way, and that ruined the shot. So we had to do it like that.
A flinch of an eye, it ruins it. Because
but this was only in the scenes. This was only in the scenes where he had to act alone. Yeah. Otherwise, he worked with the other actors, and that was fine. But it's, I mean, a 5-year-old, you can't expect a 5-year-old to carry a scene by their own. So that was really special, but it came out great.
I feel like that's how you would have to direct me if I was in the movie.
It works on.
No one will ever know, so it doesn't matter.
that's why actors could only act so much. There's only great directors, right? Great directors, great editors.
Sometimes, at times, but yeah, it's true. But don't write that.
Tord, Oskar, hey, thank you very much for this conversation. You guys made a terrific horror movie with The Evil Next Door, and I can't wait for everyone to check it out. Thank you very much for talking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.